What is going on, everybody? This is Selldretti, the host of the Father Movement podcast. I'm excited to announce the podcast collaboration, which is called the F.T.M collaboration series. So myself and two of my brothers are coming together to do episodes for this series, starting with this one and episodes in the future. Now, for this episode, it was kind of lengthy. It's about 3 hours long. So we decided to split it up into parts. So part one is right now, and part two and part three are going to drop in the following weeks. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Peace. All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Follow the Movement podcast. This is your host, Selldretti. This is going to be a special episode. This is my first collaboration series that I'm doing with my two brothers. They are like brothers to me. Went to West Point together, and I wanted to bring them on because, you know, they gonna make some contributions to the episode and future episodes. So I got my brother Sharheem, and I got my brother Jay Lay up in this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it.
All right, so the first topic we're going to get into is the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. Okay, so first I'm going to read off the finalists, and then I'm going to read off who actually got in, and then I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about the list and who y'all like and who y'all thought should have got in and why. All right, so for the finalists, we got Jared Allen, we got Willie Anderson, we got Rondé Barber, Dwight Freeney, Devin Hester. Oh yeah, Devin Hester. Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Albert Lewis, Darrell Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson. So those are the finalists for this year. And then the ones that got in are Rondé Barber, Don Coryell. He wasn't on the list, but Don Coryell, Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, Darrell Revis, Ken Riley, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware. So that is the that's the finalists for this year. I mean, not the finalists, but those are the people who got inducted this year. So I'm gonna start with you, Sharheem.
Okay.
Who in the actual list that got in? Who do you like on that list?
So the first. So I'll go by first ballot, second ballot, third ballot. So I like having Darrell Revis as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Darrell Revis, he revolutionized the cornerback position for this. You know, the way the guys play that position now is largely based on how he played that position, especially going up against those Patriots that had that like pretty vertical offense at the time, going against Tom Brady year in year out.
Yeah.
And honestly, for him to go first ballot and pretty sure he never won a Super Bowl and never won a divisional or a conference championship says a lot.
He actually did. He won one with the Patriots.
Oh, yes. Oh,
he did.
You're right. Sorry. It speaks a lot to like his performance as a player. And then second, I will say Rondé Barber. I think he should have got in at least on his second year of eligibility.
Yeah, because he been in there for a while.
So because what I did for the research, right? So I was like, okay, let me find who's comparable to these players and when they got in. And so Rondé was just a solid professional. So sometimes I think that kind of like hurt him a little bit because he was consistent for his 12-year career, and his career statistics look somewhat similar to Brian Dawkins in terms of like performance at the safety position. But I will say that Brian Dawkins kind of had that edge because I think he was a more like prolific tackler. Like he was more actively involved in the run game. and then I would say Zach Thomas. Am I able to go out? I have to do more. I did a little bit of research on Zach Thomas.
Yeah.
This is 10th attempt. I think the NFL has to put a limit on like years. Like it's like if you've been out of the league for 10 years and we haven't decided that you're worth the Hall of Fame, they need because there's other people that I think are deserving, and I think making those people wait longer sometimes is a bit of a travesty. And I'll pass it off. Pass it back to you.
All right, Jay Lay, what you got? How you feel about the list? Who you like?
The people that made it, I definitely go the same, but the Real Revis just is him being a lockdown corner for years and years to come. You don't meet people that can match up with Randy Moss during that time, with Chad Johnson, Terrell Owens, Andre Johnson. You know, all these good wide receivers that they had during the time and locked them up, using on man coverage.
Yeah,
and then didn't really. I mean, I know they had incorporated some zone sometimes, but he was, following the man, across the field the entire time. That's, you can't.
He was a traveler.
Can't find people like that, and his technique was sound. He was a good ball player. So that's my guy. Then I also like I know I'm taking two, but I also like you said Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas from was it Joe Thomas that's getting in?
Yeah,
Joe and Zach Thomas.
Joe and Zach Thomas. Well, I don't think they're related, but yeah, Joe Thomas.
No, they different.
Yeah, I like Joe Thomas because he, offensive linemen just don't get recognized, but that man was a beast as well. He was a beast. For him to play that long and be that good, I say, definitely.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
and he still he had more before he left.
Yeah, I actually looked into the Hall of Fame numbers, and honestly, in terms of the Hall of Fame, the linemen really do get recognized. There's a lot more linemen and offensive linemen, defensive linemen in the Hall of Fame than there are safeties.
Oh yeah,
and then a lot of other positions. So I think over the long span,
they don't get the fame and recognition like all the skill players do.
I don't feel bad though.
All that stuff.
Them dudes can go to Walmart and be good. You know what I mean? And you can look at them like, yeah, bro, in the NFL, but I don't know his name. If I was an NFL player, I would want to be able to go to Walmart and get walk around in there and don't have to worry about nobody bothering me. So I think they get lucky with that when they just don't know it.
Yeah. But that's to say those two guys because I watched them growing up.
Yeah, those solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See mine are like y'all said, the Real Revis.
Mm-hmm.
See, I talked about this in one of my old episodes about who I thought should get in. He was like my first person. Like he's a first ballot.
Yeah,
first ballot. If you got if you got a nickname named after you, Revis Island. Come on, man. That's qualification number one. Revis Island.
Bro, hold on. Even more important than that, this man in one season held all the names you named under 100 yards in a game. So, I'm talking about back-to-back games. I'm talking about none of these dudes.
Some Hall of Fame level.
Yes. All of them in one season, less than 100 yards in the game. And they was having big seasons that year. It wasn't like they was having off seasons either. And they were still in there, well into their prime, So they were still at the top of their game then. So.
Mm-hmm. And then another crazy stat, he only has 29 interceptions in his career. Now on paper, that don't look too good on paper. But if you're a real football player, having 29 interceptions is actually pretty good. So that means they didn't throw to his side a lot.
No.
See, that's a crazy stat.
So like earlier, I think it was Jay Lay that was talking about the Real Revis played man coverage while everybody else was playing zone.
Oh yeah,
the rest of the defense was playing zone. He was in man coverage.
He was a traveler. He took whoever the number one was on the other side. He took him.
And you know what? Also, too, he was effective in the run game too, and also he could cover he could cover positions that other people at the time just didn't really fully understand how to cover. So it wasn't just he was covering wide receivers. He could also cover those tight ends, those bigger tight ends. He would be come in and be aggressive with those tight ends that would get out into the flat.
And he wasn't scared to hit either.
Yes,
he'll hit you.
Yes,
yeah,
he'll definitely come up and tag your ass with that Oklahoma Buckeye helmet.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he'll hit you.
Yeah,
he wasn't flashy. He wasn't like Jalen Ramsey. He didn't talk trash. Like he just matter of fact, Ocho Cinco was talking about him on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah, Club
about Darrelle Revis. Because Ocho Cinco a talker. Like he liked to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, to get you off your game. He said he was trying to talk one game. He was talking to Darrelle Revis, like trying to get into his head. He said Darrelle didn't say nothing. And then he was talking about what he had on and stuff like that. Like, cause if you didn't know who Darrelle Revis was, this is what he said. He said if you didn't know who he was and you looked at what he had on, like he looked like a average football player. Like he he like he was trash.
And then you get shut down.
But he said He said he gave him that work.
But you know who he remind me of? Darrelle Revis remind me of like the Ronnie Lots, like the dudes who could do it all at their position. So like he could cover. He if he wanted to play zone, he could have played zone. Like I think later in his career he started.
The only difference between him and Ronnie Lott was a thumper.
Yeah.
He's one of the hard. Like if you look on YouTube, I looked at this a while ago. Like the hardest hitting safeties or defensive backs in the league, and all Ronnie Lott is like top 3.
But you got to remember though,
that man was hitting.
But you got to remember though, in Ronnie Lott's era, there wasn't a lot of passing.
Absolutely.
Going on.
Yeah,
so
they had the helmets with the one bar helmet.
We call it the butt crack.
So I think in the modern era, sorry.
No, I'm just joking.
In the modern era, Darrelle Revis is like he's that guy. He's a cornerback by trade. He can cover, especially like from that like 5 to 10 yard zone, which is where everybody is getting toasted at. It ain't no question. Like you're not getting off the line and getting a free release with this man. And
then definitely he was during the time with one of my favorite cornerbacks, Champ Bailey. That was one I grew up just admiring that man. So him being almost comparable, he probably even I don't know, depends. You probably take Darrelle Revis over him. I don't know. But hey, man,
I don't know, bro.
I'm
a Champ fan. I love Revis, bro. But I don't know, bro. Champ Bailey, he's like the I don't know. Bro.
I grew up admiring that man. But I mean, if he got in and they almost basically kind of interchangeable, same players kind of type, he definitely Hall of Fame in my book.
Yeah. And he a Georgia dog.
Yeah.
He on the Mount Rushmore, matter of fact, of Georgia all-time great players, Champ Bailey. How you feel about that, Alabama fan?
Go Dogs. Go Dogs.
Hey, didn't Alabama play in the Citrus Bowl this year? Hey, did they play in the Chuck E. Cheese Bowl this year?
Bro, listen, bro. First of all, I hope you enjoy like these last 2 years, right? Because we're just gonna put all the years before that behind us, right? We're gonna forget about all of that.
Look, man, I know I talk trash about Alabama all the time. Personally, I do.
No, y'all was getting that work, bro.
But listen. When anybody else talk about how bad like for example, I had seen this post on Facebook of what's his name, Paul Feinbaum or something like that.
Paul Feinbaum.
Yeah, something like that. Feinbaum, yeah, talking about how Alabama is on a decline or they had a bad season or something like that.
We lost 3 games.
And listen, and I left a comment and I was like, yo, what did I say? I said I talk trash about Alabama all the time, but this right here, I don't agree. I disagree. And
but we lost 3 games.
I'm a Georgia fan, and I disagree. Alabama
7 points.
Alabama
7 points. 7 points.
You gotta understand. Alabama made an episode about this too. Alabama has been the standard for college football the last decade. So anything less than a college football playoff, hell, even a college football championship, anything less than that is considered a failure for Alabama.
But
because literally, you expect them to get in the playoff every year. You expect
you got to take into account too, right? Like Georgia's head coach worked for Nick Saban, bro. Like that's the Alabama's success is coming back to haunt us, right? Because you got all these at this point in time, right? You have all these assistants who are now head coaches. They got the formula, they got the magic formula, and they putting their own twist to it. And then Georgia has been on the cusp of championship for at least a decade. But I think with
probably longer.
Hold on, it's not Kirby Smart? No.
Kirby.
Who's head coach?
No.
Kirby Smart, right? Coach Smart, what he's been able to do is which has at least what I've always believed to the number one secret to winning is he's been able to get those boys from Georgia that was going to Alabama to stay at home. And I think that's really good.
To his knock, he missed out on Will Anderson. That's a family close friend. So,
if we had Will Anderson, those national championships that national championship that y'all beat us in by like a heave from
a win is a win, bro.
We would have won that game.
But that wasn't a heave, bro. That was a perfectly placed ball.
He got
that was
sacked prior to that play.
No matter.
Look.
No matter.
Look, man.
All I'm saying is we had Alabama has a wide receiver that won the Heisman. And that's all he did was catch. That's all he did.
And he's putting on video game numbers too.
And I just realized that I had went back and looked at the highlights of that game. I just realized that was him who caught the ball.
Yes, exactly. So
that was him.
That was Devontae. Yeah, bro.
I think he was a freshman.
I think he was a sophomore. I think he was a sophomore.
Yeah, I just realized he made the catch.
Bro, so I don't even remember this being part of the topic, but it don't matter. So
it ain't. We talking about the Football Hall of Fame.
I'll like close this out. It's like this. It's like Alabama had a recipe that worked, but the landscape of the game changed, right? And college football is a business, and Alabama was bad for business after a while, and so these other schools and the NCAA they changed some rules, whether you either know or you don't know. And basically, I won't say they made it easier because at the end of the day, you still got to do the recruiting, you still got to put the guys together, build a team.
Yeah.
But I think Nick Saban benefited from some of the past rules, and now that things are changing a little bit, he's having a tougher time adapting, and he's also having a tougher time poaching players from other states. Like your Florida guys are starting to want to go back to UF again. Your Georgia guys kind of want to stay in Georgia. And then, LSU is like, so those were his hotbed places. You know what I mean? Like Mark Henry, not Mark Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry was from Yulee, Mississippi. Yulee's Alabama or Mississippi? Yulee, Alabama, I think. One of the two. So he's still getting the top guys from Alabama, but he's having a harder time getting those top guys from Georgia, Florida, and then the other SEC schools, like even with Tennessee now. Like Tennessee is a viable contender now.
They can throw some money, but I guess we seen with Texas A&M how they was rumored to be just throwing oil money everywhere, but then they end up having not a bad season. I think they had a winning season, but it wasn't like how we thought it would be.
But in the SEC, if you lose one game, bro, you're not going to. You basically like you. It's that competitive. In Alabama, if you lose one game, it's a bad season, bro. Unless you make the national championship and win.
Yeah,
that's the expectation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So all right, All right, so Selldretti, we can
so
keep
back
going.
so back on that should be a whole that the next episode we're gonna talk more about that. But
I don't.
As far as the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the second person I like is Joe Thomas, the person Jay Lay was talking about. Joe Thomas, he played offensive tackle, right?
Yeah,
tackle.
Offensive tackle. Yep.
Yeah, offensive tackle. Yeah, that's like when you talk about defense. When you talk about the lineman position, especially offensive lineman, that's like one of the most important positions, especially when you talk about the how the league is now with the passing. Like a lot of it is passing, so the offensive tackle is very important because they block the quarterback's blind side. So I actually watched some film on Joe Thomas because I really didn't know too much about him, but I watched some film on him and like the stuff that he was doing, like technique wise, I was like, man, that's crazy.
Also too, it's hard for linemen because they don't have many stats. Obviously now with the pancakes, whatever, but there's a lot of other potential stats that they can use to kind of quantify and separate one lineman from another. But as it stands, the biggest one is longevity. If you want to be a Hall of Famer and a lineman, you got to play well for a long time. And which honestly, it always bothered me that skilled players don't have that same metric. I don't think a guy should be able to get in the Hall of Fame after playing 3 years, even if he won a Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl MVP in all three of those seasons.
I mean, longevity
should matter.
Some type of factor in it. Yeah,
you should have to play at a high level for a while.
Yeah.
Now I will say, this is off topic, but Shannon Sharp's brother, because he been on his bandwagon a lot, saying which I agree. His brother,
Sterling Sharp.
Now I watched his highlight tape. That man, he was the real deal.
And a lot of people say he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Because since
he should be in the Hall of Fame.
It was Joe for Green Bay, right?
I think. Yeah,
Green Bay. Green Bay, right? Yeah. Because I remember playing with him on the Nintendo.
Yeah.
I was saying Sterling, hey, that was my guy. That was like, yeah.
I think he was a real deal. I think he should go in just because I think you had to be like 5 years removed or something from 5.
After 5 years you get eligible.
Yeah. And I'm like, since Patrick Willis, I know he cut his career short. They talking about Andrew Luck. I know what's his name?
Luke Kuechly.
Johnson, Calvin Johnson. I know
Calvin Johnson is an exception.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was
Megatron. Come on, man.
Bro, bro. Come on. Yeah.
He's an exception.
Yeah. The man. If Megatron in the first round,
Megatron
first ballot.
Come on, man.
Even with cutting his career short, he's still like better. He's still in the top 10 receivers ever. So,
but I think
with cutting his short.
Sterling, he played 7 years, so I think he should be especially with if they doing Hall of Fame every year. Eventually, I think he'd get in there. If you're doing
7, now if you don't have the longevity part of it, like for example, like Sterling Sharp, 7, 8 years maybe, or Luke Kuechly, for example, I think he played like 8 or 9 seasons. But you gotta have a resume to combat that. Like for example, Luke Kuechly was, in a period of time, the best linebacker in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he got a defensive player of the year. He went to the Pro Bowl almost all 8 seasons, just like Aaron Donald, for example. Aaron Donald played 9 or 10 seasons, but he went to he was a first team All Pro every year. All 9 of them seasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
he's a 3-time, I think he's like a 3-time defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he only played like 9. He could have retired. He could have retired after winning that Super Bowl. He was already considered one of the best defensive players ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like ever.
Yeah.
And he didn't play that long. You know what I'm saying? 9 years.
But honestly, bro, some of that some of it is rhetoric too, man. Like today's like sports broadcasters, they do a lot of disservice to the players where they say, "Oh, this guy is the greatest thing since sliced bread," and he's going to be a first. It's like stuff like that is like it can be helpful and it can be hurtful in terms of how you assess them, because it's just like we've seen guys go from freaking hero to zero in a second, and then the media turns on you quick as they can. You know what I mean? It's just like Lamar Jackson is the greatest thing ever, greatest show on earth until he gets hurt, and now it's like, oh well, the Ravens are struggling. Lamar wasn't doing too well. We see it every year. With specific people.
They did that to T.O.
Yeah,
I said stats don't lie. You can talk about his behavior, but that man was a generational talent.
T.O. Right. This is one of the reasons why like it's hard for me to even stomach the NFL Hall of Fame, because it's clearly biased and not representative of like what most people think it should be. T.O. Right, had 22 receptions in one game. 22 in one game. That's
Madden. That's Madden with all the sliders, all the way
No,
down
I
to
can't
0.
even do that in Madden.
Yes. So,
that's rookie.
And to be honest, bro, like, and think about it. Let's think about it, right? They pass in today's NFL
way more than they did
ever pass.
Way more.
When T.O. was playing, yeah.
If it's 75 plays in the game, at least 50 of them are pass plays. At least 50 most. And if you want to win,
I'd say probably more than that.
Oh, you're gonna have to throw the ball.
So
yeah,
bro,
you're gonna have to throw the ball.
That's all. That's literally 75 plays. 22.
He was the offense. He played in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl he played in. He played on a broke foot.
I heard about that.
Broke foot.
Yes. And almost
he had
won.
100 yards receiving that game.
Yes.
I said that's why I was saying it is biased, and then to a certain extent, it's like they don't. To my
what
opinion,
did T.O. ever do? T.O. never did anything.
It's just
bad
how
making the shield look bad.
Who had his bad rep?
Yeah. So his on-field antics, for one.
But that shit sold tickets, bro. Yeah,
exactly.
They need to cut them in a check.
That's what I'm saying. The same thing that T.O. was doing back then, they're doing now.
Yeah,
right.
They're doing now. Ocho Cinco, the same stuff they were doing back then. It was getting fined for back then. They doing right now.
Yeah.
So they're doing right now. So
I don't understand. The whole situation with T. I mean, obviously he's in now, but I think at that point it was just sour to him because this man played alongside the greats. He played alongside the greats. He played alongside Jerry Rice. He played in the league with Randy Moss. Like, he played against the people that people think are great, and he in some ways outshined them at times. And so he did it for a long time. And even today, that man probably can go out and give you 80, 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Like, he could probably do that today.
Look, with the space they play now, I think so. In the new rules, he could probably get you. I mean, he probably won't get you no AJ Brown numbers or nothing like that, but he probably get you like good 50 yards. He could do a little slant route or something like that.
Bro, T.O. is giving me 6 for 80 with a touchdown. 6 catches, 80 yards with a touchdown.
I don't like how they doing. I don't like how they use. See, in my opinion, the Hall of Fame, whether it's football or basketball, it should be based off of your stats. Like, what are your stats? Because they
what did you do for the game?
Exactly. What we about to get like the last time when we talked about Dwight Howard, they kind of did him the same way. They kind of doing him the same way they did T.O. That's why he didn't go first ballot, even though T.O. is clearly first ballot. Come on,
no question.
First ballot,
ballot,
because of how the NFL view him and the committee. When they vote for, Hall of Famers and stuff like that, they always hold that stuff against players who, quote unquote, were trouble players who, know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, T.O. really didn't get in trouble off the field.
Exactly.
Actually, he didn't get in trouble off the field.
He didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff he did on the field was just
the popcorn thing. I love that. I love the popcorn thing.
Yeah. And then with the marker, I think was that him when he pulled out the marker and signed the football? Was that him?
Yeah,
I think it was him. And then I know it's that cell phone when he had the cell phone.
No, that wasn't him. He didn't do the cell phone.
That was somebody.
That was somebody else with the cell phone.
That was Fred. That was Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor did the cell phone. I think it was.
Somebody did.
He played for the Jags. Pretty sure he played for the Jaguars, and he was like, "Yep, we signed the deal today." Sydney, run me them racks.
You had to know you was gonna score that day.
Yeah, and how you know he put it in the exact goalpost that he scored on?
That's crazy.
Well, follow the script.
He's like, I am cribbing. Oh, not the script. No.
Follow the script.
All right. Okay.
All right. So now we're gonna talk about who off the finalist list y'all think should have gotten in or y'all wanted to see get in this year.
Okay.
And Jay Lay, I'm gonna start with you this time.
Okay.
Final list. I'm trying to find that list again.
I got the list right here.
Okay.
So
what's the names again?
You got Jared Allen. I'm gonna leave all the people who got inducted, but Dwight Freeney, Willie Anderson. You got Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Albert Lewis. What time is that? And you got Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson.
So who they didn't make the final?
Who off that list that didn't get in this year you wanted to get in? Like who you thought should have got in?
I know Devin Hester won.
Okay.
He played for our guys.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say I was a huge fan of Andre Johnson growing up too.
Yeah, same.
So I would have liked him because he was Texas. Texans ain't have a marquee player. I mean, they had Arian.
He was the guy.
Adrian Foster. Yeah, that was
Arian Foster. Yeah, besides him, Andre Johnson was the guy.
The guy. He was like
pretty sure 10 straight seasons with 1,000 yards. If I'm correct,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is not an easy thing to do.
No,
it didn't have good quarterback play, so it was like
absolutely
I think he had our backup Matt Shaw at one point.
Besides him, name a quarterback that he played with.
You can't because they was all booty
They
cheeks.
just lobbed it to him.
I was saying Andre Johnson, man, I idolize him. So I think him and Devin Hester definitely should have been been in it, no doubt.
What about you, Sharheem?
So Devin at the top of my list is Devin Hester, man, and like I don't understand what the hell the NFL is doing when it comes to this.
I know I got a kind of a idea of what they're doing, and just kind of listening to how they talk about the Hall of Fame over the past couple years, and seeing somebody like Devin Hester. So I think the main reason why he hasn't gotten in yet is because he's a special teams guy. Well, and the way they view and the way the committee views special teams people is that they don't view them to the regard of somebody like a quarterback or a running back or a linebacker. So that's the problem. That's kind of reason why they haven't let him in yet. But I 1,000 wholeheartedly disagree with that. When you talk about
the problem,
because they think they think special teams is like minuscule in a game compared to, you know what I'm saying, offense and defense. Special team, nobody takes special teams seriously. But when you talk about Devin Hester, like people were game planning for this man, like literally him. Yeah, that's it. Where is this man at?
But see, the problem with
people were still kicking to this man.
The problem with Devin Hester, right, is this, right? So one, if the committee is looking at him as a special teams player, they're already, in my opinion, they're already looking at this man wrong, right? So let's think of, he didn't have a trade because he was good on both sides, because he was a wide receiver for a period. He was also a cornerback for a large part of that, right? And then he did the special team thing because that was his bread and butter. That was where he was most comfortable at, which was in space, right? And so I think the reason why the committee struggles with Devin Hester is because they don't have anything to compare him to, because he's not comparable to anybody in that space. He is the prototype for that special teams return space, and he has been since he was in college, right?
He's the greatest returner of all time.
Yeah, and if the NFL, right, can't award this person for the merit that they achieve for doing something special beyond above and beyond everyone else, then I mean, what are they doing? Like, it's not that
special teams. They just don't view special teams as that important.
And that's the problem with a lot of sports. It's like we have these people who have never played a serious down of the sport, and they have opinions, right? Like, I remember one time I was like, okay, Condoleezza Rice is on the selection committee to decide the college play. I'm like, Condoleezza Rice? Like, don't be correct. I love Connie. You know what I mean? Shout out. I don't know her, but it's a political figure. Yeah, I have lots of respect for the things she's done, but I have no respect for her opinion on college football. And that's the problem. Like, these people on these committees, they have no actual connection and understanding of the sport. They might know about it, but they don't know it the way a person who has done it and understands what playing at that level and doing even in today's game, right? If you score on a kick return, especially back then, if you scored on the kick return and the punt return, or you had an interception for a return, your likelihood of winning a game increases like exponentially. Like around it's like around the 70 to 80% chance of winning if you can convert on one of those things.
And you got to lock in that
all the time.
I say it's rare to even get a scoring play on there. You probably get at least probably a handful of touchdowns from kick return or something, probably every 2 seasons or so. It's super rare, and then it's a skill. It's definitely a skill that you have to have to be unique.
Go ahead, Jay Lay.
I was saying, and that's Hall of Fame worthy, because I was alluding to it earlier. Like, absolutely. I know sometimes we do it. They do the Hall of Fame every year, and some players just because they were like well known get in, they weren't really like God-given talent plus work ethic type generational type player. But to be that returner, just like Devin Hester is, you had to have some type of like supernatural ability, because it's unheard of. Yeah. Like even freaking. I think Tyreek Hill was returning punts. Deshaun Jackson, they got tremendous speed.
And I think he got a Pro Bowl. Tyreek Hill was in the Pro Bowl as a returner
and didn't get as much
before he blew up as a wide receiver. He was
exactly, and didn't get as much touchdowns as I know he ain't play as long as Devin Hester, but it's like even him with that gifted speed, he don't run the ball back every time. And to do it that many times, it's just. It's
the fastest people on the gridiron in the world.
Exactly.
Deion Sanders was a returner.
Yeah.
He returned punts he played corner too, but he returned punts. I've heard Bill Belichick say, was it Bill Belichick? He was talking about Ed Reed. I think he was talking about
Ed Reed. Yeah, I remember that episode. Yeah.
But him, Ed Reed, and Deion Sanders. I think Deion Sanders could have been in the Hall of Fame as a returner.
Yeah.
He was that good. He had the matter of fact, Devin Hester broke his record for touchdowns. I think
off kick returns, punt returns.
Yeah. He broke it as a Falcon while Deion Sanders was there. Yeah. But even if you just look at his stats, if you look at Devin Hester's stats, like his accolades, like He's on two all-decade teams. I think he's the only one to be on 2 all-decade teams.
Yeah.
And he's on 100. Come on, man. Look, if you're the best at your position, it don't matter what position you are. If you are the best at your position all time, like if you're one of the best, you should be in the Hall of Fame. Like if you are the best person at your position, like bar none. If anybody asks you who's the greatest defensive back of all time, Deion Sanders. Everybody gonna say Deion Sanders.
No.
Everybody.
No.
A majority defensive backs.
No, bro.
Cornerbacks.
No.
Cornerbacks.
No.
Yes.
You said defensive backs.
Prime
time ain't the best cornerback, bro.
Prime.
Sorry. Prime ain't the best cornerback.
Okay.
A majority I say he's the best of his generation.
Prime.
I would say he's the best of his generation. Even then, sometimes that's a stretch too.
I'll take him over Champ Bailey. I'll take him over.
Prime.
What? Okay. No, bro. I love Deion, bro. Deion is great, but like a lot of times it's great. Like
he is.
But
he is.
No, bro. No.
What are you talking about?
He's the MJ of
bro, no, bro.
Sharheem.
He not, bro. He talked a lot, right? He backed his talk.
No, he didn't.
He did. He backed Deion.
He didn't talk.
Up. He did.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
He did not talk.
He made it. Must be the money, bro.
He did not.
Bro, I know, but you got to think about it. He literally had a whole like he explained it. He was like, I created a persona. Like it's like, hey,
yeah, but he didn't talk trash on the field though.
I'm not talking about talking trash on the field. I'm talking about saying he built up his persona to where it's kind of like. If people believe what they see,
okay.
So
who do you think is the greatest? Who do you think is the greatest defensive back of all time?
Okay, I can't say I think the greatest, but I can give you my top 5 defensive.
Okay, who's number one? Who's number one on your list?
Okay, on my list is Ed Reed.
Okay. I bet you Ed Reed thinks Deion Sanders is the greatest defensive back of all time.
Well, I can't.
Just like Young Jeezy said, I'm your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
I can't mean that could be true. I don't know that.
That's your favorite defensive back.
Yeah, but because you gotta think. So let me go to my list.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I'm not gonna argue with you with that because Ed Reed, I give you that. Okay,
because
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I got Ed Reed. All right, and then with a close behind him is Troy Polamalu. Because so in my being safety is way harder than being a cornerback because cornerbacks really they are they're pass defenders, right? That is their job. That's their trade. Deion Sanders is a cornerback. That like defending passes is their trade. Safeties, their trade is whatever they need to do to get the damn job done, whether it's defending the pass or defending the run. And no two defensive backs were better at defending the pass and the run, in my opinion, that I know of than Erie and Troy Polamalu.
To be devil's advocate, safeties, they get to play zone majority of the time, which is almost a back linebacker. So they don't. I mean, even though they're the final stop, but cornerbacks, they have to, 1, don't get beat off the line of scrimmage, and then 2, be able to run fast, just as fast as the wide receiver, but backwards. Most of the time, safeties and free safeties don't get into man coverage unless they doing empty backfield and they got damn near everybody on the line going out for a wide receiver. Other than that, safeties don't got to backpedal that much. They just go down.
I'm thinking through the practicality of the game. So it's just like, okay, right, as a linebacker, right, linebacker's first play is the run. No matter what, unless it's like, obviously you got down in distance, right? If it's 3rd and 11, right, you a linebacker, you play the pass, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're a cornerback, absent down in distance, you playing the pass. Like linebackers and cornerbacks, they have a primary like thought focus. Like safeties, right? Their instinct is their ability to decide what's important right now on this play and play to that is critical, right?
Right, because they see the whole field. I mean, they see the whole field. So
how many? Think about this. Go look at any scoring play in the National Football League, and where the safety is or isn't is the determination of if that person scored or not. Any play where the safeties are is ultimately the difference between scoring and not scoring. And this is coming this
and Ed Reed. Matter of fact, Ed Reed was talking about this when he was coming up in Baltimore. I think he was playing against Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And Peyton Manning was reading him,
mm-hmm.
just like you said, like he was reading him.
Yeah.
Based off of what Ed Reed was doing, Peyton Manning was going to throw the ball a certain way, or if he pump fake the ball, he was going to throw that way, and Ed Reed
mm-hmm.
knew that. So Ed Reed said that when the play was called and
I seen that one. That's a beautiful.
Yeah,
that was beautiful,
he opened up his
bro.
hips. He opened up his hips a certain way, and he knew Peyton Manning was going to go to that side.
And then he like,
yeah.
Picks the pick, but listen, bro. Like I don't get me wrong, bro. You know me. I'm a linebacker by heart and trade, bro. Like that's where you want to be at. But in terms of looking at the game from a holistic perspective, it's like you can't deny that the safety position, at least in my position, is the hardest position on the field of football, bro.
I would say safety.
I think safety is harder than being a quarterback. Being a safety is.
I believe you can play.
You don't know what's going on.
Average. You can be an average safety and play for a long time. You can't really be an average cornerback to me. Because you have to.
I disagree.
You have to be a man coverage and I alone at some point, because right now zones you're gonna get hit with slants every day, and so they'll switch it up, especially in the red zone. Either you're gonna do man or zone or something like that. Whatever they switch up to, you got to be able to guard your man one-on-one.
Okay, let's think about this. Over the perennial passing position, like for receiving, right? Is not wide receivers, bro. It's tight ends. Like tight ends are the guys you got to be worried about today. So safeties cover tight ends
or linebackers, right? Sometimes.
No, bro. The linebackers are there to cover that first 5 yards of in the box. But I'm talking about the deep threat tight ends, right? Your guys like Gronkowski, Jimmy, Travis.
Yeah,
bro, that is a safety's job. And if you go back and roll through the film, when those safeties aren't adequately accounting for those tight ends and those guys, you can't win. Like the Eagles lost that game because their safeties weren't in position to defend against the tight ends. The tight ends beat.
Even if they were in position, they weren't guarding Kelsey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Didn't Kelsey catch a touchdown over one of their safeties?
Yeah, but he won't do it against, like he wasn't gonna do that against Trey Palomalu or Ed Reed, bro. Promise you.
I get you that. Yeah,
that was folded. That was folding his. Even if he was bigger, they was folding them up. They was on them. They was scrapping them.
I still think Kelsey would have got off a little bit. I still think he would have.
Nah,
I don't think he would have.
Maybe a little bit.
Shut down.
Maybe if they had an all-pro wide receiver on the other side, that was more that the safety had to pay more attention to. that would have been it. But all right,
I just think it's easier to see ball and get ball rather than guard a man. Try to anticipate.
That's because you was a lineman. I
played offensive tackle.
I'm gonna have to agree with Jay Lay on that.
Offensive tackle, you have to be with the defense end. It's really hard to stay in front of a man, anticipate where they're going, and then also anticipate.
But see, that's the problem.
Coming, where safety, you can see the ball coming.
Cornerbacks don't have to anticipate what a man. If you're a quarterback and you worry about where this man is going, you're already playing the wrong game. Like,
no, I'm saying if you like on the island like Darrelle Revis, he leads you where you want to go, which is the technique that you're supposed to do. But at the same time, it's like you
watch Darrelle Revis play. He's not playing the man. Darrelle Revis ain't playing the man. He's playing man defense, but he's not playing the wide receiver. That's why he was so good. He's dancing with them, but he's playing the ball every play. That's why people didn't didn't get yardage on him because he wasn't playing the man. If you go back and watch when cornerbacks get beat, it's because they're playing the man and not the ball. It's like he's dancing with the wide receiver until the ball's in the air, and he's all ball from there. That's the separates the
But
great
see,
cornerbacks.
he can't dance by himself. He has to still stay in that same area. Whereas safeties and free safeties, they're away from. I mean, they're all the way in the back, so they're not. They usually don't have a man unless somebody going a go route. They usually don't have a man on them, so they can see. Oh, ball's going that way.
Safeties have a man every play. Every play, the safety has a man.
I will not bring my safety to go guard a tight end because they're going to do short out, short in. Unless they run the post or something like that, I will not bring my safety because if you got a goal on the left side or you number 2 doing a goal or something, you got to have somebody on top of that because you just ain't going to have the corners 1-on-1, and that's going to be even harder.
So if you think about it, right? Let's say for everybody to understand cover 2, right? Everybody say under cover 2. You got the 2 safeties on top, pretty much man on the bottom, right? Man underneath. And then the safety's kind of filling in the gap wherever somebody, get through whatever. That's hard. That's hard. That's impossible.
Cover two when you got the cornerbacks and man, you already got cornerbacks slowing down a receiver then, and then all you got to do is go back to your zone.
But you got to think about it, right? As a safety, you're playing everything the linebackers miss and everything the cornerbacks miss. So it's like it's the opposite of being a quarterbacks know the play, they know their progression, they have control of where everything goes as long as they got the blockers to do it, right? The reverse of that is a safety where they're filling in where things go wrong every play. So while they have space, they don't always have the time to make that on the spot correction, right? So like, for example, right, even though Ed Reed is my number 1, Troy Polamalu, right? There's this one play that one of my favorite is this man comes from 15 yards deep and he sacks the quarterback because he understood down and distance and where to place himself at the perfect timing. And that's why being the safety, in my opinion, obviously I'm not trying to sway your opinion. It's the hardest position because it's just like, while he did shit that probably you don't coach, right? You can't coach a person to do the shit that Troy Polamalu did.
Absolutely not.
But it's like when he came from 15 yards deep and either he sacked the quarterback or caused like a loss of yards on a run play. I can't remember. I think he sacked the quarterback. He just came over top, got him. Yeah. It's because he understands, right, that if the safety isn't active in the run game as much as he's active in the pass game, you lose. But
I would just say that you have to be more of a superior athlete to be a corner than a safety. Because I don't think Troy Polamalu was as fast as Deion. Or Ed Reed.
Deion was faster than both of them.
Yeah, I mean, like they're great safety.
If you talking track like straight line, like 40 times speed,
because you have to be able to run sideways.
Deion Sanders was faster than both of them. Sharheem, I don't know why you looking like that. He was faster
because listen, bro,
he was.
I have think about this, right? Speed is important, bro, but speed ain't critical until you're in open field.
Right, you got 40-yard dash speed, you got straight line speed, and you got game speed.
Exactly, bro. Game speed is what matters, bro. Not 40-yard dash.
You got game speed. You got people that play fast, but they 40-time trash, but they play fast.
Exactly, that's what matters. Yeah, your game speed is what matters, not your 40. Because think about it, bro, think about
but you have to, as a corner,
you faster than both.
As a corner, you have to be. I mean,
I just think you love cornerbacks.
No, it's not good. It's just
you have safeties, and that's okay.
It's because I play basketball too, and I understand like you don't being a 1-on-1 with your defender versus a center standing in zone, and that's how I feel like a safety is Dwight Howard. Yao Ming standing in the middle of the paint, and then soon the ball comes, that's where you go and react, and you can just.
But I think you're saying that man defense is tougher than zone, and I'm arguing that it's not. Like assignment football starts. You play assignment football in Little League. It's literally that's all man is assignment football. Zone is tougher because now instead of you worrying about one assignment, you're covering an area. And I don't know if you ever tried to cover an area, but look, give me the man because I just gotta go where he goes.
So would you rather have a zone or would you have to stay in the decoy?
So
you running a goal. Would you rather have a zone and a play that possibly don't go your way, or be with a man that's running the possible decoy? So they can have somebody, because they do that a lot, especially with Deshaun Jackson. He just run a go out, and you gotta be with him because you're a man, because you don't know if he gonna get the zone, he gonna get the bomb over top of you, and you have to go with him because you're a man cover.
So I'm thinking. This is when I'm thinking about this, right? In the NFL, I'm not worried about a go route, right? Because in order for a go route to be successful, a quarterback needs 5 seconds. I'm going to assume that my defensive lineman is going to give him 3. So you're not. I'm not. It really isn't the.
I don't know. We had like 5 in the Super Bowl. We had like a bunch of them in the Super Bowl. They are throwing on you. The Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Those safeties.
Adams just caught like two go balls, deep balls. I think AJ Brown had got hit with a deep ball. I think Travis Kelce.
The safeties, bro. The safeties.
He ran.
It's the safeties. The safeties weren't where they weren't in position where they're supposed to be. That's my point. It's like.
But I'm saying, would you rather have to run with that guy every play, and he could be doing a decoy every play, or just have a zone where you just I'm gonna go 10 yards and sit in my zone?
I think I gotta switch headphones real quick.
I think it's mine. Walking, can you hear me?
I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I just had to switch headphones. We're good.
Oh, I'm saying, like, if you're in zone, you only have to go probably a backpedal 10 yards, and then you stay in that area that you guarding. But if you're in man, you got to go with the guy at all times, so he can be running a goal every single play and not ever get the ball. And that's like wasted energy. And then they just waiting for you to get tired, slow down, and then they gonna hit you with another go route and actually bust you.
If you in
that's hard than playing zone.
If you in man, you don't not depending on how the team playing, you don't necessarily have to go with the same guy. Normally when the guy is following a dude around, it's like you do stuff like that. If you have you got a Darrell Revis on your team, and then the other team got a Randy Moss or Terrell Owens, so I want him to cover this guy this whole game because I have to put him on him, or otherwise he's scoring. But most of the time, if you run a man, you just trading off assignments. You know, man is you trading assignments. It's like, okay, all right, I got the safety. The safety has a guy in man coverage. His guy might be the running back. You know what I mean? It's just all about the assignment. And that's what I'm saying. Like, man, in my opinion, is the easiest football because that's what everybody learns from Little League. It's man assignments. It's like, this is my man right here. And then when you start, throwing in the zones, you're creating dilemmas. And you actually put your team, you create the possibility of broken assignments. More broken assignments happen with zone plays than man plays because everybody understands who their man is. And that,
I see both of y'all. I see where Jay Lay coming from as far as saying cornerbacks is harder than playing cornerback is harder than playing safety. And I think it's because of the technicality. Yeah. It's a lot of tech. Right. It's a lot of technique playing cornerback, especially if you're a traveler. Yeah. Especially if you're a traveler and you playing the number one receiver. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you lined up in front of the wide receiver, and you know what I'm saying, like, you got to play him man, for example. Like, it's a lot of technique you got to use, like shifting your hips and reading the hips, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. You got to do that, and then you got to play the run. You got to play the run too. Yeah. If it's a run play, if you're somebody like Darrell Revis who gonna go up there and hit, you know what I'm saying. And then I can see where you coming from too, Sharheem. Like, as a free safety, like, you seen the whole field, so you kind of like you roaming, kind of.
Yeah.
But like you said, like you don't know necessarily. That's why I think Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu were like the best the best safeties.
Oh yeah.
When it came to that, because they roamed, like they got to the point where they were just doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they was out there. Like they were just doing stuff. And when you look at them, it looked like they were just roaming, like they were just out there. But they actually like studied, really studied, like especially the quarterback. Like for like that example I gave with Peyton Manning and Eddie Reed. Yeah, they actually study, and you can see, like that's why they considered the best, because they made that position look so. But I see where you're saying like it is a hard position to play. I mean it is. It looks easy. Yeah. When you just looking at it from, you know what I'm saying, but it is a hard position. But I can see where both of y'all are coming from though. Like definitely.
And I'm gonna just throw one last little jab in that, bro. You ever try to tackle in somebody in space, bro? Safety's got to tackle in space. Cornerbacks normally within arm's reach of the guy.
Sweet play
in space.
Sweet plays. They hit the cornerback first, and he has to fight off. He has to fight off a tackle and fight off a block first. So he has to do defensive lineman, shed and block, and then also trying to tackle.
That's only if the defensive lineman and the linebackers didn't do their jobs first.
Oh, no, if he come in full speed, like he didn't get touched, it's over. Tackling Derrick Henry in space.
Bro,
you know what? That's the next topic.
You watch Sean Taylor. Most of his times he's unblocked because he's playing from all the way in the back, and so he just coming downhill. But if you look at Darrell Reeves, got to fight off a block, got to fight off a. Nope.
And even with that, that's contingent. That's contingent on who the safety is, because not all safety's gonna do that. Sean Taylor was a thumper.
Yeah, Sean Taylor.
That man was.
He was also punishing linemen too.
Yes.
He would punish a lineman. He would definitely fight.
He was a thumper.
So don't.
But I'm saying most of the time, cornerbacks got to fight off a block, then try to make a tackle in an open field because they have a stretch play going that way.
But that's every defender. Every defender is fighting off a block to make a tackle, bro.
Yeah.
Every defender is. So that's my catch-all. Every defender has to fight off a block to get to somebody, especially if you're a safety. Because if it's a running back, and then I'll say to this, it's easy in my experience, right? Like, when there's a blocker, sometimes it's easier to make the tackle because if you punish the blocker, 90% of the time,
that's what I like to do.
If you punish the blocker, you getting the tackle made, even if it ain't you, your teammate making the tackle, but it's the dudes who try to avoid the blockers. You know what I mean? That look stupid. And then tackling in open space is the differentiator between defenders. Defenders that can't tackle in open space. And cornerbacks are largely bad at tackling in open space.
Like, I would agree.
Those cannot. Excuse my language. Sorry. Those guys. If it weren't for Gator rolling today,
look, man, they're not practicing. They're not practicing.
They Gator rolling.
Yeah,
they're not wrapping up. They
NBA players.
They doing the Gator roll.
Sharheem, you remember we was at the prep school and we was doing hitting drills with it was the fullbacks and the defensive backs. Hint Hill. It was one of the Kadeem. It was either Kadeem or his brother.
Yeah.
I ran him slap over.
But you also like 5'7",
and I wasn't trying.
220 pounds.
I was really not trying to hit. Like really, I wasn't trying to hit him at all. Like I was just going through the motions. I really didn't feel like hitting.
Yeah.
And he just bounced up off me. I didn't run. I don't think I ran him, but he just bounced off me like a.
But you said you ran him over on Phil, so you ran him over. He got to come defend himself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I did. It felt like he just.
Don't backpedal. If you ran him over, ran him over.
But I'm just saying. But the second rep, he got a second rep. I don't know if you remember this. He got a second rep, and I think he was mad that second time. He was mad. And Tony was the ball carrier at the time.
He got punished.
He hit Tony so hard, man.
But Tony,
because
I'm not gonna go there.
I'm gonna go back. I think the first time we was hitting, I don't think we were just we weren't taking it seriously. So like he hit me. Yeah, I know you were.
I was.
Well, he seemed like a helmet hunter.
But he used to be so mad. Remember that one practice they got mad at me because they wanted me to like chill, and I'm like, I don't know how to chill.
I hated you, bro.
I'm like, what you want me? You telling me to chill at practice?
I told you to
practice
chill
All-American,
bro.
Oh, I am. I'm about to play. I'm about to play. I'm about to. You gonna earn it. You started. Fact, okay, bet we gonna test you today.
Jay Lay, this what happened. Sharheem, they put Sharheem at linebacker. He played fullback originally, but they put his behind that.
I was so happy, bro. I was so happy.
I'm talking about at the end of practice. You want to talk about skid marks on the helmet?
Damn.
Look. Sharheem helmet was squeaky clean before that. After practice, this is day one at linebacker. Day one. I'm talking about every single time. Fuck.
But
I mean, every time, bro.
When it comes to football, like my mentality. I grew up in the era of running backs being the position. So it's just like you either running back or you're a linebacker. Like in towards the end of my time, like and by the time I got to high school, it's like it's all about quarterbacks and wide receivers. So it was just weird. It was just a weird experience. You know what I mean? Like watching that. Like I remember when, like not Willie, like Priest Holmes and running back for Jamal Lewis and them guys, like those were the guys.
Well, Jamal Lewis, my guy too.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you either running people over, or you either like crushing people on you know what I mean, like Ray Lewis style, like blowing people up.
You must have the speed revos or something like that, because that's too much. Sam
Johnson.
Sam Johnson.
Yeah,
every practice, because my year we was doing majority of the freshman scout team. Boy, we do them inside run drills for the regular offense.
Yeah,
the linemen come and pull and come in.
Yep.
I'm like,
hey, listen, bro. In my lifetime, right,
every play.
And I ain't played football like and like all that much after high school. Obviously I played at prep school and then I did the little sprint shit. But Sam Johnson is probably like one of the like first people that I ever met with my same mentality about football. But one day he hit me. I was like, in the inside, I can't show it, but it's just like, I'm like, damn, bro. I don't really want to fuck with him too much.
I said he don't care about himself. That man,
yeah, bro.
And it was, you just hit a head colliding. Like every. I said, gee.
Yeah.
I said, and he running full speed. Like me, I'm colliding with it was Hugenberg at the time. We 6'5" center, big 300 center. So I'm right there because they had me at defensive tackle. I'm right there. Go. And I can I'm used to that because I've been doing it for a while. But him running full speed, 10 yards back. Every like for whole was it 20 no, we was doing periods, so it was about like 2 periods.
Country boy is different when it comes to like they're hitting. And they're gonna hit you, bro.
Sharheem led with the head every time.
That's what Sam
did. Bro. Sharheem, when we was doing special teams, walk through. Jay Lay, this is walkthrough, bro. Walkthrough.
They got mad at me that one day.
Sharheem was playing I think he was playing gunner or something like that. All he did, what he literally did was just run directly towards me.
But I never learned how to tackle when I was young. I just learned how to hit hard.
You punt block when you play in punt block. You don't have no way of bracing yourself. You just gotta lock up with the next person and just stand there. And Sharheem, bro, I hated you.
In your chest.
Hated you.
In your chest. climbing up the ladder.
I ain't have my chin strap buckled. It was supposed to be a walkthrough. This man running full speed, like 40 times speed at me every time.
But
I'm like,
we should probably
chill, Sharheem, chill.
We should probably get back to the subject matter. We all on topic.
Sharheem, it's not that serious, bro.
It's all American.
It's never that serious.
Sharheem was all state in high school.
Bro, he had to be. He was Hall of Fame.
2 times.
Yeah, I did some background checks.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
I see my highlight tape.
Oh, yeah.
You was leading with the head then.
But I was effective back then.
Number one.
Yeah, bro.
Sharheem Taylor, all state. First team all state.
Oh my goodness.
First team.
Oh, my boy Jalen gonna look it up.
Look, I know I'm
Sharheem all state, man. Sharheem was serious. Was something serious back then.
But I tell people this all the time. I'm like, bro, listen. If I was 6'3", I'd be in the NFL, and I full wholeheartedly believe that, bro.
You would have been a Reuben Foster for real. You see,
I would have been Reuben Foster before Reuben Foster, bro.
Boy, Reuben Foster did nothing but helmet to helmet. Jeez, he did that at Alabama too. Oh my God, he did not kill him.
Bro,
man.
Yeah, bro.
Jeez.
Honestly, that's why. Like when I see Will Anderson, I'm like, bro, this is Reuben Foster if he could pass. Like if he could do pass, coverage. Because look, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Reuben Foster was a dog, but my boy used to be in just coverage, just like, man, I ain't trying to be back here. I'm trying to hit somebody.
That's when Alabama defense was. Man,
yeah, bro. But
when
you know what?
When they played, who they played?
Clemson,
Notre Dame. I'm talking about. That's when they were blowing. I'm talking about blowing top 5 teams out.
His legs was in the air, like a full out dive.
Matter of fact, Texas when they played Texas. I'm talking about every single play that what's the name had the ball. What's the name? The quarterback that played for Texas in that national championship game. Colt McCoy.
I was gonna say McCoy. Yeah, Colt.
They were tearing this man up.
Yeah.
The whole game. I'm talking about every play. Fuck. Oh my God.
Because that's back when Alabama was going getting them kids from the Bellwoods country boys, but they trying to take your head off, bro. I'm talking about like they work on the farm and ride horses to school.
Alabama had this. I don't know. I was on YouTube and I was looking at Alabama highlights. They had this 1'6'6", 6'7" linebacker,
Mount Cody,
a pile driver.
Mount Cody.
Pile driving the guy.
No, he played lineman. He was a defensive lineman. You talking about the big Mount Cody, the big huge dude that played. He was a lineman.
Oh, you talking about the defensive lineman? You talking about defensive lineman or offensive lineman? Linebacker.
Linebacker.
Yeah, they say he was a linebacker.
No, Mount Cody was not.
No, he was a lineman. He was a lineman. I thought you were talking about a lineman.
I mean, look on YouTube. It's Alabama linebacker like suplex somebody. That man was I think it was in Missouri or something. Oh, dang, them boys picking up grown men. They picking up, suplexing them at full speed. Dang, you didn't get that in the WWE. Where Nick Saban find these guys from prison? Dang, he going to the prison yard giving them scholarships.
Giving them illegal licenses. Ain't no way you 19 years old, fam.
But they got license to kill out there on the field, boy. They got bounties. Bounties, bro.
Ain't no way you 19, fam.
Bro, I'm crying, bro.
He's 19-year-old kid, bro.
Bro, I'm crying, bro.
They had the real Sycamore High School. Was that fake high school with old men? They had but they had a real team before that.
Man, bro, these real tears, by the way, bro. crying.
I'm talking about
There
they
you go.
was spank that team Sagamore, bro. They was spanking them teams.
They lost
Search
to.
They lost
LaMichael Fanning.
Wow.
He did a German suplex like Kurt Angle. Ref ain't even blow the whistle or nothing. That man amazed. Jeez. Okay, yeah, they got them. They had to get them from the penitentiary. They had to.
My boy with a hard time, boy.
They said they'll cut. They said they'll cut his sentence short if you take the scholarship.
Running back, if your leg's vertical in the air and you know it, oh my god, you know it.
Bro,
I don't know how I feel as a grown man getting flipped like that by another grown man, bro. I ain't
against your will, bro. And you holding your weight down. Like imagine holding your weight down. He's still lifting. All right, bro. What? God.
Bro, I'm crying. I'm crying over here, bro.
In front of my wife and kid, man. Getting flipped like that.
Bro. I'm my professor, bro. I got a group I got to present, bro. He flipping me on my head, bro. You know the boys had to come back home and take tests. They had to get on the bus and take another.
Bro, why you like this, bro? I'm crying.
But how you supposed to stand in front of your class and present that project? You just got the night prior on national television, bro.
Hey, listen,
ESPN.
He emailing his professor like,
I ain't coming in.
I can't come to class today. I'm sorry. Like, I think I need a baggy-otomy.
Professor, I saw. Say less. Say less.
No, take as much time as you need. You know, we'll work through this.
I see. Hey, I already know. Say less.
Sonny, you okay? You okay? I seen you.
It was so bad. It was so bad. The professor sent the email before he emailed saying, "I already know. Fam. You gotta respond. You got it.
Don't worry. Coming in today.
But they give him.
Don't even worry about it. Yeah.
He gave him extra credit and everything.
He already emailed him before he already emailed him.
I said that move
last night.